It's another week for you, another main event on ESPN, ESPN2, I guess, but it's still the ESPN family. I mean, is it still like a big deal to you? Is it exciting at all to be headlining shows, or is this just another day at the office for you?
I mean, every time I fight, I get pretty excited. So it could be in a bar, and I still get excited.
That's awesome. Well, you look at it. All right, coming in, you're actually in second place, even though you got the big win. Do you look at the standings at all? I mean, do you do the math? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't think you're guaranteed a playoff at this point.
No, I don't look at the scoreboard or do the math, but I mean, I know I'm going to go out there and get a win and do my job. So just one step at a time.
No doubt.
I'm never in first. I wasn't in first last time in the tournament. It's just
I know, right?
Unbelievable.
That's great. I'm curious, this season, it's been interesting. I mean, it doesn't affect you, but PFL brought in some high-profile additions, right? A lot of big names, and they haven't exactly blown away the competition, right? I mean, Anthony struggled a little bit. Rory, I think, is a questionable decision at best, but we saw Fabricio. I mean, has that been eye-opening for you at all to see these high-profile names, not exactly just come in and wipe people out?
No, I mean, I think that I don't want to say I expected it, but I mean, it's, for one, I think when you watch the season and you watch the fights, you could have all kinds of fighters who aren't big names, who aren't stars, who aren't whatever, maybe don't even have the best records. But when you watch these fights, these people are like, they're going after it. They're fighting for their lives. They're fighting for the opportunity to better their lives, to win $1 million. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters except that performance inside of the cage and if you win or if you lose. So I'm not surprised by it. I think that it's tough. Every fight counts. Everything matters when you're in the PFL. So, it's good to see that the promotion is bringing in big names and big stars, but I think maybe better to build big names and big stars.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, to me, in a lot of ways, it validates what you've done even more. I mean, your run, you've had the target on your back since you came in there, and we're seeing these people who clearly had targets on their back, and they struggled a little bit. Does it kind of make you even more proud to say, look at what I've been able to do?
I mean, I try not to compare myself too much to anyone. I feel like the media does a good enough job of that for me. With the rest of the world. But I mean, I am proud of what I've accomplished. I'm proud of, everything I do inside the cage and outside the cage. I try to live my life, in a good way. And I work hard. I train hard. I deserve to win. And it feels good when I go out there and do what I'm supposed to do.
Does this run feel at all like it did when you were trying to repeat as a gold medalist, right? Like you've already been there, you've done it, you've accomplished all that. So I wonder if that repeat mentality is helpful, because I could see maybe, I don't want to say motivation being a problem, but yeah, I mean, when you've already done it, it's a little bit less exciting to have the chase, right? To do it again is a little tougher.
I mean, I think I would say that I have a little more nerves this year. Not nerves, but like anticipation and excitement. I know that every fight is a tough fight. I've learned from experience not to take anyone lightly, especially Larissa Pacheco. I think that so many times in my judo career, I fought the same girls over and over and over again. And this kind of feels like that a little bit. So it's just about going out there and instilling my will and being dominant. And, this is the last year on my contract. So putting a big emphatic stamp on me being the baddest woman on the planet and going out there and proving it.
Yeah. I was kind of curious if, I know you said you don't look at the standings, but are there any matchups you're hoping to avoid? Like, I was wondering, are you like, please don't make me fight Pacheco again? Like, I don't want to fight a third time.
I think that she's definitely the second best in the division, after what I saw from the first fights. I think she's just a very well-rounded fighter. I think she's a lot better than people give her credit for just because of her young days in the UFC. But I think in 145 and 155, she's a top 5 fighter in the world. So I think it's inevitable. I would like to fight somebody different just to continue to get experience, but I never get what I want, so
We'll see how it all plays out. First, of course, you got Cindy Dandois this weekend,
here.
a judo black belt. I'm curious, right? Like she is such an interesting fighter. Her style is so unique to her, and she does have a judo background, so it's intriguing. But she's also not a two-time gold medalist judoka. You know what I mean? So, what do you expect? I mean, do you think that she's going to want to clinch and see what happens there, or do you think no?
Yeah. No, I think she's going to want to. I mean, I think that people tend to go to where they're comfortable, especially when shit's getting crazy inside of a cage. So, no, I definitely expect her to grapple. I think she might even pull guard at some point. I know she's got some funky submissions and leg locks and stuff like that. I expect her to try and catch me with something like that, but you know, I've over prepared for this. I'm more than ready. My team has done all of the research and studying, and they've done their due diligence, and we're ready for wherever the fight goes.
Would that be a mental test for you if she was actually able to toss you?
Oh my God. That's not, no, it's not going to.
It's not even a possibility.
I mean, I would like to say that I'll retire if that happens, but I shouldn't say shit like that. So I'm going to just say, listen, I've overcome a lot of adversity in my life. So at least at MMA, if you get thrown on your back, the match isn't over, right? I still have an opportunity to win. So
I was going to say, look, I know it would be difficult to happen. If it happened, it'd be fun. I would be interested to see if you would be pissed off or if you would smile and almost laugh at how ridiculous it would be.
No, I would be furious. Let's not even. Don't make me angry right now, okay? I'm in my Zen bubble. We'll
relax. Listen, after this fight, you'll have about a 2-month break. The Olympics will pop up during that time. Will you? Yes. Do you watch the Olympics anymore? I mean, is it something that interests you, or now that your time's over, do you move on?
Yeah, I haven't really followed judo circuit that much, but obviously the Olympics are truly unique and special. I actually got asked to commentate for NBC for the judo portion, but I don't think it's going to be able to work out with the schedule of fighting and having 2 kids, and it's going to be tough. So I don't think I'm going to be able to commentate this year. I wish I could, because that would be a lot of fun and great experience, but we'll see.
Maybe in the future, that would be a very cool opportunity for you.
For sure. I actually had to do an audition and everything, and I was like,
wow.
I'm nervous, but it was fun.
That's awesome. I want to get your take.
Rules anymore.
Well, that's pretty bad if you don't know the rules. I want to get your take. We hear the debate a lot, so I've kind of left it, but now I'm kind of interested again. MMA is an Olympic sport. Could it ever happen? Should it ever happen? It seems to me like it's almost impossible to do. But what do you think? Is it possible at all?
I mean, it's possible, I guess, but it's not probable. Like I think MMA and the biggest promotions have they sort of got their model based off boxing, which is way more entertainment based versus sport based. And in order to be an Olympic sport, you have to meet all kinds of criteria. You have to have one unified government. You have to have one unified set of rules. You have to have participation in X amount of countries. You have to have viewership in X amount of countries. You have to have complete equality between men and women. Like there's a ton of stuff you have to do in order to qualify as an Olympic sport. And I think that would be, I mean, can you even just imagine all of MMA like getting together and deciding on anything in unison? Like, never mind one government. Like, can you imagine them just all getting together just to do anything?
No.
I think it'd be tough.
That's good. But that's it. So it's funny because your argument against it is about the just the way of pulling it together. But as an athlete, I mean, do you think it'd be, because that's what I've always heard is the argument is like, how could you fight that frequently, that close? But you don't even think that's the biggest hurdle.
Oh, no. I mean, that would be another huge hurdle if you got past all of the other 37 hurdles that I just mentioned. But yeah, I guess I never thought about fighting that frequently. Would be really tough. I know that there's an international MMA federation that is like,
yes,
they have like a beginners program, a grassroots program, and they have IMMAF world championships and stuff like this. I don't know what their rule sets are. I don't know if they wear headgear or shin guard. I don't know exactly what they do. It would be really tough, I think, to make MMA an Olympic sport. And the MMA that you see now, like in PFL and Bellator and UFC, like there's no way that would be possible in the
Yeah.
Olympics. Like,
Yeah, it'd have to
can
be
you imagine,
heavily modified.
can you imagine like Dustin fighting Max Holloway in the semifinals and then a day later having to fight Conor McGregor? Like, that doesn't even make any, like, it would be impossible.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it sounds pretty crazy. Well, let me ask you another Olympics related question. Clarissa Shields, have you had a chance to talk to her afterwards? I know you said you kind of see yourself as a bit of a mentor to her and help. Have you had a chance to talk to her since her debut? And what were your take overall?
I just said good job. I think I'm not like, I don't want to be. I know that she has talked about wanting to fight in the season next year and wanting to fight me in the future. So I don't want to be like too big sistery to her. I kind of just like, I said, good job, way to go, watched you. I think we all knew that she was going to have holes. We all knew that she was going to struggle in some aspects of the game, which she did. But she's a winner, and she found a way to win, which is what winners do. So I applaud her for that. I think PFL's job is a little bit tougher from this point on. Like, where do you go from here? And I think that hopefully now this whole like Kayla fighting Clarissa thing can be put to bed, because it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. It would be like you guys saying, oh, Kayla should fight Amanda after I had my first fight. Like, it doesn't make any sense, like, why? Right. No, that's stupid. Stop.
I agree. She did show, like you said, though, she showed a lot of heart, a lot of athleticism, and
Absolutely.
Boy, she finds a way to land those punches. The strikes that she was able to throw were vicious.
They were. She's got fast hands. I was impressed.
No question. Where do you think you stand in your own development? I mean, do you feel at this point you are a fully developed martial artist? I'm not saying you can't get better. Everybody can get better. Obviously, everybody's improving. But do you feel you're a fully developed mixed martial artist at this point?
No. I mean, I think no. I keep getting better. I think I can keep getting better. I think what's crazy to me is like how little I've been able to showcase how well-rounded I am. Because when I'm sparring and when I'm, I don't get takedowns every round in sparring, because these mofos that I'm sparring, sprawl and like so my striking has had to develop. I've had to get good at being on my feet. I'd never show it in a fight, but I would like for that to come through at some point. But I also just want to win. So I have to go do what I'm best at, which is win. It's tough. I think that I'm going to just continue to get better. And I think what's good for me, what makes me feel confident, what makes me feel better is if there is ever a day that comes where a female is able to stop a takedown, like, I'm not going to be a fish out of water. I'm not going to be like, oh God, what do I do now? Like, I'm going to be comfortable. I'm going to be confident. I'm going to stay composed, and who knows? Maybe I'll actually get a knockout someday. Maybe. Who knows?
Well, I was going to ask you, do you guys talk theory, or do you think, because here's what I see in martial artists sometimes, especially specialists. It's like they get to a point in their career where they want to show, hey, I can strike. So they go into fights thinking strike first, even though, as you said, using your base, using what got you to the dance, that's what helps you win, because you're light years above other people there. So do you ever talk about that? Like, do you go into a fight thinking I want to display something?
I mean, we definitely talk about it against opponents. We've talked about it a lot. I never do it. I mean, we always think I'm going to do it, and then I get in the cage and I don't do it. So, listen, I'm not gonna fall in love with striking and like be like, oh, I'm only gonna strike. I'm only gonna no, I'm gonna go where the fight goes. I'm gonna take what's given to me, or I'm gonna take it by force. Well, but yeah, we talk about it. I just don't. No.
I think, hey, listen, I think that's smart. I think you stick with what, you're the world's best like, at, that's.
If it's all about numbers to me. Like, if you're 99.9 on grappling and you're only 50 on striking, and this girl's, maybe she's only 30 on striking, but she's 30 on grappling. Like, why? Of course, why wouldn't I grapple? Like, who wants to give anyone a chance to get, like, I don't want to give anyone a chance. I don't want to give anyone a chance. I don't want to let them breathe when they're in there with me. Like, I want to go out there and get it over with. I want to, yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, one last kind of big picture question I want to ask you. It really didn't occur to me until recently, but I was thinking about this the other day. People talk about like the featherweight division, the women's featherweight division, and of course the lightweight division you're in being like a little thin or not having as much talent. But then I think about it, you, Amanda, and Cyborg. I mean, Amanda and Cyborg are obviously two of the greatest to ever do it, and
Mm-hmm.
you're on your way to being one of those as well. If you girls were all under one umbrella, it'd be one hell of a division. So is it so do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that all three of you are in different organizations? I guess on the one hand, it's like you're all stars in your own organization, but on the other hand, if you were all together, I think people would say, holy cow, look how deep that division is.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's definitely a lot of good fighters at 45 and 55. I think that they are scattered amongst all of the promotions. I mean, selfishly, I think it sucks because I want to fight the best. But, you know, for my bank account, for Amanda's bank account, for Cyborg's bank account, like it works out, right? We all are making good money. We're all stars. We all get to live a good life. And like, it's great. But it would be so badass to yeah, there are a lot. It's not a thin division. It's just that it's spread out, you know, like it's not, I don't know. It takes time to build big things. So,
well, I was going to say, there's more talent developing. You guys are showing the way that, hey, you know, there's a lucrative career in doing this. So
for sure. I have no doubt that 10 years from now, women's MMA will be like cutthroat, you know, impossible to like how you see the men's divisions now. I think 10 years from now, the women's divisions will be equally as competitive and equally as difficult to break through in the ranks. You know, we have so many guys at the gym who are all killers, and it's like they fight on local promotions and are killers, you know? And I'm like, what the like, Jesus.
No question about it. You said you end your contract this year. Is it going to be a tough decision to figure out what's next? Is it all just come down to who's going to show you the money, or is it going to be a hard choice for you to make?
You know, I gotta get through the season. I gotta go out there and do my job. I gotta put a big emphasis on I'm the baddest woman on the planet. Here, let me show you why. I gotta make people pay attention and be so good that you can't ignore me, and just go out there and kill right now, and then we'll see what happens.
That's awesome. Well, the next step is Friday night, not Thursday night, right? It's Friday night. Make sure everybody knows.
Friday.
You've been saying it over and over. You've won established that you're the baddest woman on the planet. So the goal here, I'm guessing it's more than just win. You feel like you got to get style points. What is the goal here?
I mean, I want to win by TKO, KO, or submission. You know, I want to go out there and just I want to be scary. I want people to look at me and go, God, she's scary. That's it.